In 2025, just next year, Orlando will experience the opening of Epic Universe, the first new major theme park in over 2 decades. So how is Disney planning on responding to such a monumental addition to the Orlando theme park ecosystem? Will Disney go all out and build an entirely new theme park to compete? Or is there a much smarter play? Because a lot of fans were predicting that Disney would have to create a 5th theme park to combat Epic Universe showing up. But I think there's something here that Disney knows that most Orlando theme park fans don't. Bricky here, breaking down who's the real winner in the theme park wars. So let's dive into a timeline that I've created and break down how Disney plans on winning the battle for your family's precious vacation days. All right, so first let's break down why Epic Universe is going to be such a big deal. Epic Universe, opening next year in 2025, will be Orlando's 7th premier theme park. And I'm not including water parks, and I'm not including other theme parks. I'm just talking about premier all-day parks, Universal 3, Disney 4, total of 7. That's a week worth of theme parks. And as somebody who is a huge Disney fan, let me be the first to say this about Epic Universe. It looks awesome. It looks state-of-the-art, and it feels like it's going to live up to its namesake. It is going to be epic, and it is going to give fans the ability to travel to various different universes through the portals. And they've picked some of their fans' favorite stories and brands for them to explore. And when I saw they were doing this, it's like, How to Train Your Dragon? Who cares about that? I suddenly find myself caring about How to Train a Dragon because the land that I thought was going to be the weakest looks to be one of the most impressive. Like, this thing looks amazing from portal to portal. And that is from a hardcore Disney fan. Been to the Disney parks hundreds of times, never been to a Universal park. But this might change my Disney Gold Star status. I'm just waiting for Dallin over at Offhand Disney to go first, so I can basically win Corvette law. You know, where the last person to leave their hand on the car is the one who wins it. Neither one of us have been to a Universal park, and I'm not going to be the first to go. I want to be the last holdout. So it's going to be amazing, but I'm here to say this. This is what fans, I believe, have gotten wrong. Many people believe if Universal's building a new theme park, then that means Disney has to build a new theme park. But I feel like that assumption couldn't be further away from what Disney needs to do, and obviously what it looks like Disney is planning to do. So you're asking yourself, well, if Disney isn't going to build a theme park, how do they plan on competing with Epic Universe, which is obviously going to be the #1 ticket in town for quite some time? So let's break down what I believe Disney's long-term strategy is to stay #1 in Orlando. So both Disney and Universal know that the average family only has so many vacation days. So building another park would absolutely mean that they're overcrowding the marketplace. 8 theme parks is definitely one too many for how many vacation days most families have. And if you had 8 theme parks, you would 100% be making most American families choose between their favorites. Not Europeans, though. They seem to have unlimited time to go on holiday. And in fact, the way it is right now, with Universal putting the 7th park into the ecosystem, many fans are already going to have to pick and choose which theme parks they're going to go to on their vacation. Some parks are just going to get skipped, and Universal may be making the park that everybody's going to want to go to the most, but their other 2 parks, they might be in trouble, just like some of Disney's least popular parks. So this is something that I had been predicting for a while, when lots of other folks have been like, oh no, man, Disney's going to build the 5th gate. I've been saying for a while, I don't think that's going to happen. I think instead of creating a new park, Disney will double down on refreshing the parks they already have, creating new attractions, new experiences, to bring guests back. I know that's not rocket science, but the way that this is all rolling out, It's pretty clever and it's pretty sneaky. And I think that you'll see that it's a pretty smart way to combat a brand new theme park that's going to get the entire industry excited. Okay, so let's break down with Epic Universe on the horizon. How is Disney going to keep up? Because 2025 will be here before we know it. It's already Halloween according to the theme parks, which is ridiculous. All right, so we know that next year, 2025, is going to be a massive year for Universal and Epic Universe. The theme park is obviously going to dominate the headlines, and it's going to bring in huge crowds. In fact, I believe it's going to probably bring in more demand than what its supply can actually offer. But we'll get to that in a second. But what I see here is Disney is playing a calculated long game. And I think if their timing lands the way that I'm predicting, they'll be able to pull it off and they'll be able to be competitive. Although for many fans, for years, it will look like they're losing. But let me tell you something about horse racing. When your horse comes out of the post and it's the very first place horse, you're not going to win the Derby. The horse that wins is the horse that pulls into the front as they're on that final straightaway. It's all about pacing yourself and timing. And I believe that is what Disney is doing. So let's look at 2025. Epic Universe is going to open to massive demand. But Disney has a little something they're going to be planning on doing, because some new projects will start in 2025, but not all of them. Because in the first year, a couple of things are going to happen to Epic Universe that fans I don't think are thinking about. There will be more people that will want to go than the park can accommodate. So therefore, it's going to be the hottest ticket in town, which means everybody won't get a ticket. And the people that won't get a ticket will do two things. They'll either go to a Disney park instead, or they'll just stay home and be like, we'll go next year when the hype dies down. Either way, 2025 is going to be a soft year for Disney, but it won't be as soft as the next year. So inside of 2025, when everybody's running over to Epic Universe, or people are hoping to run over to Epic Universe, Disney will quietly begin construction on a Monsters, Inc. land inside of Disney's Hollywood Studios. Arguably, in my opinion, one of their worst theme parks. This will be the first ever fully designed and articulated Monsters, Inc. land inside of a Disney park. It will also have Disney's first ever suspended roller coaster. So we're going to use Star Wars Galaxy's Edge as our timeline, because it took them way too long to build Tron, took them a long time to build Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, took them a pretty decent amount of time to build Avengers Hallway here at DCA. But all of those projects were tainted with 2020 and all the stoppages. When Disney is going full speed, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge took about 4 years. So we're going to use that as sort of our standard on what we can guess some of these other projects will take. And that puts me guessing that this Monsters, Inc. project will be about a 2-year project, maybe 2.5. And also inside of 2025, Disney is hoping to start their progress on converting Rivers of America inside of Frontierland at Magic Kingdom into a Cars Land. And I'm assuming that one will be more around a 3-year build out. So that's what 2025 is looking at. You've got the new park with high demand. Everybody can't get there. So some of those people will go to other theme parks, and we're going to see major projects starting at Hollywood Studios and over at Magic Kingdom. Let's go to 2026. And with all these new attractions and all these new developments, I'll tell you one thing that's going to be for certain. There's going to be so many more new vibes coming to the Disney parks. And oh, what a beautiful way to celebrate the vibes with wearing your beautiful Bricky blouse. Head over to my website, Hey Bricky, link below. Grab yourself a beautiful Bricky blouse or our Walt 1901 hoodie. You will look stylish and everybody will know this person, they're in it for the right reasons. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, and thank you so much for supporting me with the ability to create 3 high-quality videos each and every week. I appreciate your support. Now, this is the year where Disney is going to fully fill Epic Universe, because in 2026, they will have ironed out all the kinks. The sort of demand thing will have settled in, and all the people that go, we'll wait for the hype to die off, will finally show up. In 2026, Epic Universe will just be crushing. And conveniently, Disney will find themselves in the middle of some of their projects. So in the year Where I believe Epic Universe will probably hurt Disney the most, 3 of their parks will be inside of transitional stages. Because also in 2026, I believe that's when Disney is going to start making the Tropical Americas show up at Animal Kingdom, featuring Encanto, Indiana Jones, a whole new reimagining of Dino Land. I have a video about it. You can check it out. And I believe, once again, this is probably looking at around a 2-year transition. One of these is just a overlay update converting Dinosaur over to Indiana Jones. And then, yes, the Encanto, that's going to be a bit of a build out. But Disney knows what the stakes are. And when they put their might behind their construction, they can make things move faster than they have in these last couple of years when they've just been doing the slow roll and catching up from the lost year. So now we come to 2027. At this point, this is where it gets interesting. Epic Universe will have been open for 2 years. All the early adapters have been there several times. Families that wanted to go came in 2026. Around 2027, the demand will fall off a little bit, or people that are going to Orlando will have already been there, making 2027 the perfect moment for the Monsters, Inc. land to open up over at Hollywood Studios. This will take one of the weaker Disney theme parks, put it back in the spotlight. So if families do come to Orlando and they do want to go to Epic Universe, they're still going to probably add on a day to go experience Disney's first ever suspended roller coaster and see this brand new land. And that's all timed with right around when the over demand of Epic Universe is starting to release. And this is where I think you'll start to see the pattern that I'm predicting for Disney. Because in 2028, when Epic Universe celebrates its 3rd anniversary, once again, Disney will have another rollout to offer. Because if that's around the time that the Tropical Americas opened up at Animal Kingdom, you have demand for Epic Universe cooling off a little bit, but now you have 2 Disney theme parks, 2 of the weaker theme parks, if I'm being honest, that now have significant updates. So if you go out there for 5 days, you're like, well, look, we always do Magic Kingdom because that's the classic. We should do Animal Kingdom, we should do Hollywood Studios, and we'll also do a day at Epic Universe. So in this scenario, the big loser is Epcot and Universal's other 2 theme parks. But the thing that Epcot has going for it is it has its seasonal festivals that people really enjoy. So maybe Epcot is quietly a contender because people do love walking around and eating food on top of trash cans. And then I believe what is a very smart move, 2029. 4 years into Epic Universe. It has had its moment in the sun when it was over demand. It had a moment when everybody showed up, and now it has settled in. And a great way to celebrate that settling in is to go to a brand new, fully immersive Cars Land inside of the Magic Kingdom, as well as the offerings they had the summer of 28 and 27. Meaning that for 3 years in a row, Disney should have a big offering, and the offerings seem to get bigger as Epic Universe gets a little bit older. Now, will this momentum be enough to win people back to the mouse after they've had a taste of Epic Universe? This is where I think it gets even more fascinating. Make sure you subscribe to Hey Bricky. That is the easiest way for you to help me keep showing up and making 3 quality videos for you each and every week. I appreciate you subscribing to Hey Bricky, because 4 years into Epic Universe, Epic will be thinking it is now time for us to do something new. It'll be time for us to add on an extension pad or put a new attraction in, because after a 4-year cycle, we now know that we've got to lure families back to Epic Universe. And somewhere around here, the Villains Land that Disney has announced that has fans very excited, that is probably on their calendar to compete with whatever Epic Universe does next. So that one isn't on the radar yet because they don't exactly know what defense that particular construction project is combating with their theme park rival, Universal. So Disney is playing a long con. They're going to just go ahead and yield and give Epic Universe the space that it needs when that's all anybody will care about. But quietly, they will start laying the breadcrumb trail to bring people back to their parks in 27, 28, and 29, and with Villains Land, beyond. So instead of going head to head, park versus park, knowing that 8 parks is 8 days too many, and the real loser there would be the weaker theme parks, they're making their weaker parks stronger, making strategic moves and kind of doing it in a moment when they go, we're not going to be able to win for these 3 years, but we can set ourselves up to win for the next 10 years. And if I know anything about social media and where culture's at these days, I believe that all of this is paced out appropriately for when that shininess of new starts to wear off. And then people are like, oh, I want to go do the new thing. As for what's going to come next, who knows? But it sounds like we're all in for one hell of a ride. And that ride will be maybe in one of your favorite parks. Friends, if you want to see my breakdown on the concept art of Villains Land, this is unlike any YouTube video you've ever seen. I poured through every detail and found 120 details inside of this concept artwork. Check out this video and give content that's a little bit different a chance. I'd appreciate it. Thank you so much for showing up.